What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news and transfer news video where we will talk about the fact that Luis Diaz's agent has sat down with Barcelona and Barcelona's president Joan Laporta to discuss a future transfer to Barcelona, but Liverpool are demanding north of £100 million for Luis Diaz. Do you think Liverpool should sell Luis Diaz anytime soon, maybe in the summer, or do you think Luis Diaz still has what it takes to continue playing and delivering for Liverpool? And I think he had a very difficult start to the season, obviously because his parents got kidnapped back in Colombia, but it's so good to see Luis Diaz's father fully enjoying life and embracing his son playing for Liverpool. And Luis Diaz was absolutely electric against Manchester City. The way he roasted Kyle Walker and Rodri and the way that he dribbled, it's just a shame that he couldn't crown his performance with a goal because he deserved the goal. He just missed all of his chances, sadly. But the fact that Luis Diaz's agent Carlos van Stralen had dinner with Barcelona's president Joan Laporta suggests to me that Luis Diaz one day would like to play for one of the Spanish giants. And you know what? All South American players are like that, because in South America, Barcelona and Real Madrid are the two biggest clubs in the world. Lots of South American talent, lots of Colombian players play for either Barcelona or Real Madrid. Philippe Coutinho, he had a dream growing up to one day play for Barcelona. Ronaldinho was his idol, he played for Barcelona. Also, you know, the probably the best Colombian player of recent times, James Rodriguez, played for Real Madrid. So Luis Diaz always grew up watching Spanish football, I'm sure. So one day maybe he has a dream of playing for Barcelona, and I have no problem with that. If Luis Diaz sees out his contract or maybe extends his contract by once and he plays 5-6 years at Liverpool, delivers us a few trophies, and then he goes to Barcelona, Real Madrid, I have no problem with that, because these guys, they give their all to the shirt, to Liverpool fans, and if they have a dream to one day play for Barcelona, then if they fulfill their objectives at Liverpool and deliver and work hard, and Luis Diaz is such a hard-working player, so I have no problem with him going to Barcelona, maybe in 3 or 4 years time. But if he goes this summer, then I would have a problem with that. But I don't think Barcelona can afford Luis Diaz. They are even sweating on trying to sign Joao Cancelo on a permanent transfers. Joao Felix is on loan from Atletico. That will be a lot of money if Barcelona want to sign him permanently. Cancelo on loan from Man City, he would cost a lot of money as well. And Barcelona are still in a very precarious financial position. And we will, in this video, we will discuss Michael Edwards officially announced as the CEO of all football operations under FSG. So he's not just going to be leading the football department at Anfield at Liverpool, he will lead all football departments at FSG. And that is signaling to me that they want to expand to a multi-club ownership model, which we will discuss a little bit later. I'm not too much in favor of the Red Bull or Manchester City, the City Football Group model, where they all own multiple clubs around Europe and in the world. But if Liverpool, for instance, would own an MLS club, then that would be beneficial. I just don't want Liverpool, the owners of Liverpool, to own another club in Europe, which we could meet in Europe, because that wouldn't feel right. Because I'm all about fair competition, and football should be all about fair competition. But if FSG owned an American club, and maybe we could scout South American markets and North American markets easier there, and maybe if we find a brilliant young player who is still growing and developing, but not yet good enough to maybe play in the Premier League, like Brighton have scouted brilliantly at the South American market, if we bring that guy in to our MLS club that FSG would own in the future, then maybe he could play there for a couple of years, and if he develops brilliantly, then Liverpool would later sign him. And it would be much easier to get him that way, like, you know, getting him straight from South America. It's going to be problematic because of all the rules and regulations, plus also because he might not be good enough to play for Liverpool, and constantly being loaned out to different clubs and different leagues isn't best for a young player's development. But more on that later. Let's first talk about this Luis Diaz transfer. And if you enjoy these videos, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new around here, and turn on the bell notifications notifications so you never miss the latest updates around Liverpool FC. So Barcelona president Joan Laporta has recently met the agent of Luis Diaz. Multiple Barcelona-based newspapers and media outlets are reporting this. They are discussing Luis Diaz's situation at Liverpool. And his father, Luis Diaz's father, has said that he dreams of playing for Barcelona one day, and he's a fan of the club. So it looks like Luis Diaz is a Barcelona fan, and it seems that Laporta wanted to check on his status and met with Diaz's agent, Carlos van Stralen. According to El Heraldo, the Barcelona president was then told that Liverpool would want £100 million plus for Luis Diaz's signature. Liverpool would want 140 million euros, and Barcelona already paid 142 million pounds to Liverpool for the transfer of Philippe Coutinho, and I think we should ask for a similar amount for Luis Diaz. And Laporta said that it's unfeasible because of the very, very high price tag. So we can rest easy for the moment. Barcelona don't have that kind of money, but if they continue progressing in the Champions League, and if they can get back to that level, playing in the quarterfinals, semi-finals of the Champions League every season, then financially they could be alright in the future, and maybe in 1, 2, 3 years Luis Diaz could become a Barcelona player. But as I said, Luis Diaz is still contracted to Liverpool until 2027, and there is expected to be plenty of change at Liverpool after Jurgen Klopp departs. So maybe Luis Diaz is just keeping his options open and wanting to see what kind of project Barcelona have, what kind of money they have. But if I was Luis Diaz, I would stay at Liverpool at least until 2026, 2027, so for the next 2 or 3 seasons, because Liverpool have a much better chance to win the Champions League. Ironically, Liverpool are not in the Champions League this season, and Barcelona are. They are already in the quarterfinals. They beat Napoli 3-1 pretty convincingly. Yeah, last night I watched the game. My wife is a big Barcelona fan, so I watched it with her, and we enjoyed watching the game. It was a really good game. Barcelona finally played Barcelona type football that my wife was really upset that they haven't played that type of football consistently enough this season. But Barcelona are developing and growing, and if they can sort their finances out, I can see a scenario where in 2 or 3 years, when Luis Diaz is 29, 28, 29, maybe even 30 years old, maybe then he would want to have one last big contract and he goes to Barcelona. And if he goes to Barcelona in 2 years for like 100, 120 million, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with that. Because Luis Diaz is not like Sadio Mane. And Sadio Mane was an absolute legend. Luis Diaz is not on that level yet. He's growing and developing and maturing, and he's having a really, really good season. He has like 11 goals, I think, and a lot of assists for Liverpool. But he still needs to step up a little bit more. He's consistently good, but he needs to be consistently great, which means that he probably needs to work on his finishing and his decision making. Sometimes he dribbles too much, sometimes he doesn't dribble enough. Sometimes he doesn't score a lot of clear-cut chances, but he's a hard-working guy and I love him to bits, don't get me wrong. But I think I just feel that there is more in this player that can take him to the next level. He can become an all-time Premier League great, in my opinion, because he has the talent, he has all the attributes, he has pace, he has trickery, he has skills. He showed against Man City, probably the best team in England and one of the best teams in Europe. Hell, they are the kings of Europe at the moment. They are the best team in Europe and the best team in the world in terms of, you know, winning the Club World Cup, winning the Champions League before that, winning the Premier League 5 times out of 6 seasons. And yet Luis Diaz was so good against Man City, he made some of their defenders look average or below par. He was absolutely electric, and I want this kind of Luis Diaz performance to show up more consistently, but with a little bit of better finishing. I know it's wishful thinking, and I know we fans always demand more of players, and I applaud Luis Diaz. He was my man of the match against Man City. Honestly, he was the best player on the pitch in my opinion. He was absolutely brilliant, alongside Endo, alongside Virgil van Dijk, alongside a lot of Liverpool players who played well. But Luis Diaz was a above everybody else, yeah, I felt. He just needs to add a little bit better finishing to his game, because I feel Luis Diaz still misses too many chances, and some of those misses cost us big time in these big games. I remember against Arsenal, he missed some big chances. Against Man City, he could have and probably should have scored 2 goals, but he didn't. According to transfer insider Fabrizio Romano, the deal to take Luis Diaz to Barcelona right now is not possible. Liverpool would demand an astronomical fee north of 100 million, which is Barcelona just cannot afford it. Staying with Liverpool for a moment, I want to reassure fans that I'm not hearing anything about Luis Diaz in Barcelona, despite some stories about his agent meeting with Barcelona. Luis Diaz's full focus is on Liverpool, and I also don't think it's possible for Barcelona to pay that kind of crazy fee that would be required for Luis Diaz. Maybe, as I said, in 2 years, if Luis Diaz doesn't extend his contract and he has 1 year left on his contract, maybe we would consider selling him, but only for a big fee even then. So right now Luis Diaz played 38 games, scored 11 goals and 5 assists in 27 Premier League games, 6 goals and 4 assists. And I just wish for a season where Luis Diaz doesn't have any external distractions, like his parents getting kidnapped, which was absolutely a horrible story. And I want Luis Diaz to play a full season without injury and see what kind of numbers he could get, because I think he can get 20 goals and maybe 10 assists, which would mean that he gets around 30 goal contributions, and for a winger who is not Mo Salah, that would be absolutely brilliant numbers. And also FSG on their website announced that Michael Edwards is going to become the CEO of football at FSG, and this is what they said about it. FSG President Mike Gordon said, Michael is one of the most formidable executive talents in world football, and John Henry and Tom Werner and me are absolutely thrilled to have secured his services for our business at FSG. He returns to us in a role with greater seniority than he held previously and a wider remit. It was clear when we initially reached out to him that a broader scope would be a key motivating factor for any potential return to the football and to the industry in total. In this regard, his ambitions matched ours. As an organization at FSG, we constantly strive for improvement in our football operation, whether that be identifying fresh opportunities externally or areas where we can improve and enhance our operations internally. There is no better person to lead that process than Michael Edwards. In keeping with this objective, he will take over responsibilities I have previously held, Mike Gordon said, regarding oversight and management of Liverpool FC's football operation. And I think personally that is a key decision for FSG in safeguarding the future of Liverpool Football Club, because when you have one of the best guys, one of the smartest people in the whole of the football industry leading Liverpool's football operations, we are in safe hands. If the stuff is right off the pitch, that usually means that stuff will be right on the pitch. And if Liverpool managed to appoint a brilliant manager to spearhead this new revolution, then I think that would be an absolutely key decision to safeguard Liverpool's future and to keep Liverpool competitive, to keep Liverpool at a level where we have a chance of winning major trophies, and that's what all Liverpool fans want ultimately. And Mike Gordon said that fulfilling that role has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, and handing it over, returning to a more traditional role in ownership, is something I have been hoping to do for some time, and only if we could find the right individual and the right structure. In Michael, we now have the ideal person to assume these responsibilities. I look forward to working with him again from my position within ownership, from where I will continue to lead engagement on matters relating to football. On behalf of everyone at FSG, I'm delighted to welcome him back, and also hugely excited to see one of the most sought after executives back in our ranks. I'm very grateful, Michael Edwards said. This is now Michael Edwards' words to Mike, John, Tom and the ownership group for offering me the opportunity to take on this new leadership role at FSG. I was humbled by the desire and persistence they showed in wanting to work with me again. This is definitely not something that I take for granted given their track record across sport and business. It was vital for me if I did return, it had to be with renewed vigor and energy. In practice, this means having fresh challenges and opportunities. As such, one of the biggest factors in my decision is the commitment to acquire and oversee an additional club, growing this area of their organization. I believe that to remain competitive, investment and expansion of the current football portfolio is necessary. So Michael Edwards thinks that buying another football club and managing it needs to happen if FSG want to expand and explore their current football portfolio. With Liverpool FC, I will oversee the required reinforcement of football operations with a number of essential leadership positions needing urgent attention. He's referring to appointing a sporting director and then, alongside that sporting director, appoint a new manager. I know from personal experience what a wonderful job Mike Gordon has done with day-to-day oversight of Liverpool FC. Going forward, I'm looking forward to working with FSG's board of members. I fully understand that it comes with great expectations, and I intend to identify, hire, and subsequently empower leaders who meet and embody the club's values and ambitions. And that is music to my ears that Michael Edwards is saying that. Having served Liverpool Football Club previously, I need no reminder of how much emotional investment is made by supporters in the city itself, as well as across the UK and the world. I'm looking forward to getting started. And that is an absolutely brilliant statement to read by FSG. And Michael Edwards said one of the biggest factors in his decision is the commitment to acquire, so buy and oversee an additional football club. So FSG will buy another club. I just don't want that to be a club which Liverpool could meet in European football. I want that club to be either a North American club in the USA, that would make a lot of sense, maybe an MLS club or a club which is going to expand into the MLS one day. I heard that one of the previous owners of Liverpool, Mr. Moore, acquired recently a club in the USA, which is not yet an MLS club, but they plan to become an MLS club in the future. So that is also very interesting that maybe FSG could join that venture as well, but we will see what happens in the future. I'm sure they will announce it, but the most important thing is Michael Edwards will appoint Richard Hughes as new sporting director very soon, and with him, alongside him, hopefully they will appoint a brilliant manager. Hopefully that will be Xabi Alonso, but let's wait and see what happens. I will keep reporting it to you guys. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.